friends, in previous videos we have discussed about many topics. So in today's video we are going to discuss about context switching. What is context switching? Why it is important for any operating system to do context switching? So basically understand, context switching help the CPU to perform multi programming. How it is helping the multi programming type things? It helping with the help of context switching. Context switching means switching the processes. Okay, so what it basically do there? So basically, let's suppose CPU run one process P1. Okay, now due to IO or time quantum, means the time allotted to this process get in there, time quantum. So what will happen if the time quantum happen or the IO request come? At that time CPU need to change this process with another process named P2. So from switching from one process to another process is known as context switching. Context switching. But before switching we have to take care of something, that is, so basically when you are in the P1 and any IO happen or any type of time quantum happen, so before switching from process P1 to process P2 we have to save the state of P1 with its program counter. What does it mean? So basically if you switch from P1 to P2 and if you save the program counter and it's set, so next time when you come for a P1 process again, then the CPU know from where it has to start the program. Otherwise what will happen? It again start from starting. So we need to save the detail of first process already in our PCB. So the next time when this process come, due to program counter, the CPU know from where the we have to start this program again with his state. So that's why it is very important. Let's understand this context switching with one example. Suppose you are at your home, okay, reading book reading book. Now your mom call you for any work. What will happen? You go for the mom work, but before you going for your mom work you bookmark the page number or paragraph. Otherwise you do not know after completing your mom work from where we have to start reading. So similarly when process P1 saved, so had to switch from P1 to P2, P1 has to bookmark the detail. P1 has to bookmark the detail like program counter is still into the PCB, so that the next time this process again come after IO or again uh, after time quantum in the P2. So the CPU know from where it has to start the process. So this is called the context switching. Context switching means saving the one process and restoring the other process with help of switching the CPU from one process to another process. With help of switching the CPU from one process to another process, from one process to other, is known as context switching. Means saving the process 1 and restoring the process 2 with help of switching the process. CPU we switch the process from one process to another process, and this is called the context switching. And in context switching, remember, the CPU during switching from one process to another process, let's suppose CPU switch from process 1 to process 2. At that time CPU do not do any useful work. So at that time CPU do not do any useful work, that is sometimes called overhead process, because at that time CPU is just like ideal sitting, because that is why context switching time CPU does not do any useful work, don't do any useful work. whenever we are trying to make any operating system, we try to make a operating system in such a way that CPU does not get free and he do every time some work, so to increase the utilization. But during the switching time, CPU does not do any work. That is a must remember point we have to remember. So I hope after this example of context switching, from reading book to doing work of mom, before doing that we have to bookmark the thing, why we are doing it, how we are saving the state of one thing and switching to other state. That is called process context switching. I hope after this example you understand what is called context switching. Context switching means the ability of CPU to switch from one process to another process with saving the process of one process and restoring the other process. So and always the process is saved in the PCB, and I have discussed about PCB in previous videos. So if you do not know what is PCB, you can watch our previous video where I discuss about what is PCB, what all the details which are saved in the PCB. So go and watch that video. I hope you understand the topic. We will meet in the next video.